What does love look like when pressed into the creases of a perfectly ironed shirt but never spoken aloud? I've spent years chasing that question, piecing together fragments of affection from my parents' silent gestures, hoping they might one day see me as more than a duty. My name is Naomi, 34, a mother of two, married to Eric, who anchors our modest life in a small American suburb 2 hours from where I grew up. Our home hums with the gentle chaos of Thomas and Grace, my children, whose laughter fills the spaces my childhood never did. I've always believed family is a tapestry woven with effort, so I call my parents weekly, visit every other month, and carry the weight of their indifference like a badge of loyalty. But lately, I've begun to wonder if I'm stitching a pattern that was never meant to hold. Growing up, my parents, Dennis and Marlene, were not the kind to hug or praise. Love was a lunch packed with precision, a house kept spotless, silence prized over chatter. I didn't know to crave more. I thought their restraint was normal, their formality a kind of care. My father read his newspaper at breakfast, nodding at my report cards without comment. My mother folded laundry with a focus that left no room for conversation. I learned to measure their approval in the absence of criticism, a fragile currency I spent my youth collecting. Now, as an adult, I drive 120 miles to their tidy colonial home, hoping for a warmth I've never quite found. The visits are polite, like stepping into a museum of my past. My mother talks of her garden's yield zucchini this year. Tomatoes last while my father asks about Eric's job. Never mind. My bookkeeping work, pieced together between school runs and laundry, seems invisible to them. Eric notices the distance. It's like we're visiting acquaintances, he says after we leave, his voice soft but pointed. He's right. They don't ask about Thomas's soccer games or Grace's drawings, though I bring their artwork anyway, hoping it might spark a smile. Last year, my mother gave Thomas a book with another child's name scrawled inside. A regift she laughed off. "A book's a book, isn't it?" she said, and I nodded, swallowing the sting. My children, thoughtful and quiet, sense the chill but don't name it. They sit politely on the couch, waiting for a welcome that never fully arrives. Then there's Ryan, my younger brother, 32, a spark of charm where I am steady. He lives closer to our parents, his life a glossy contrast to mine. Ryan runs an investment firm. His world is one of vacation homes and sleek cars. When my parents speak of him, their eyes brighten, their voices lift. Ryan's planning something big. My father said last visit, a secret smile tugging at his lips. I didn't ask what. But the air shifted, heavy with their pride. I tell myself it's not a comparison, that their love for him doesn't diminish me. But in their house, I feel like a guest who's overstayed. My presence tolerated, never celebrated. Eric squeezes my hand as we drive home, his silence louder than words. I want to believe I'm enough for them, but the doubt lingers, a shadow I can't outrun. The first weekend of December arrived with a crisp bite in the air, the kind that promises snow and holiday warmth. I dialed my mother's number, picturing her in her pristine kitchen, the phone cradled against her shoulder as she diced carrots. "Can we come by Saturday afternoon?" I asked, my voice light, hopeful. There was a pause, a faint rustle, then her measured reply, "We're having some people over, Naomi, but you can come for a bit if you don't mind." The hesitation should have warned me, but I brushed it aside, eager for a moment of connection before Christmas chaos descended. I hung up, already planning the gingerbread cookies Thomas and Grace could help bake, a small offering to bridge the gap between us. When we pulled into my parents' driveway that Saturday, Ryan's sedan and Vanessa's SUV gleamed under the winter sun, a silent announcement of their presence. Laughter spilled from the open front door, warm and unfamiliar. I glanced at Eric, who offered a small shrug, his eyes saying what I wouldn't. This wasn't our space. Inside, the house glowed with holiday cheer garland draped along the banister, a cinnamon candle flickering on the mantel, the skeleton of a Christmas tree waiting for ornaments. My parents, Ryan, Vanessa, and their 3 kids crowded around the dining table, mugs of hot cider in hand, their voices overlapping in a merry hum. "Naomi," my mother said, her smile too wide, too late. "Oh, you brought the children. How lovely. No one rose to greet us. Ryan gave a quick nod, mid-story about a Colorado ski chalet, while Vanessa, in a cream sweater, showed my mother photos on her phone, her laughter bright as polished silver. I stood frozen, ushering Thomas and Grace inside as Eric hung our coats without a word. My children hovered at the room's edge, their quiet observance a mirror of my childhood. My father tossed a distracted, "Hey there," to Thomas, his eyes glued to his newspaper, while Grace's small wave went unnoticed. Ryan's youngest clambered onto my father's lap, cookie crumbs on her chin, as my mother fussed over Vanessa's coat, calling her my elegant girl. The words landed like a pebble in still water, rippling through me. I set my tin of gingerbread cookies on the side table. We baked these together. I said, my voice thinner than I meant. My mother barely glanced up. "Oh, we've got plenty of sweets." "Dear," she said, her attention back on Vanessa's bracelet, some designer piece that drew a gasp. "Ryan spoils you," she giggled, and the room laughed with her. We stayed for less than an hour. Eric made small talk with my father about football while I sat in the living room, watching my children try to join their cousin's tablet game, only to be gently excluded. No one noticed when we slipped out. The door clicking shut behind us. In the car, Thomas's voice was small. "Mom, did we do something wrong?" I swallowed the ache in my throat. "No, sweetheart, not at all." That night, I lay awake, the memory of my mother's dismissal looping in my mind. Grace's unanswered question about the tree, Vanessa's bracelet glinting like a crown. Eric's hand found mine in the dark. "Don't take it personally," he murmured, but the words felt hollow. How could I not? The truth was sharpening. Cutting through years of excuses, I wasn't imagining their preference for Ryan's family. It was real, and it hurt. A voicemail blinked on my phone Monday morning. My mother's voice softer than usual, almost fragile. "Hi, it's me," she said, the words trailing like a sigh. "Your father's car is making that rattling noise again, and he's stubborn about the garage. We're a bit tight this month. If you could help, we'd be so grateful. No pressure. Dear." I sat at the kitchen table, coffee cooling in my mug, the sting of Saturday's visit still raw. The request wasn't new. There'd been others for a leaky roof, a new furnace, even their old spaniel's surgery, but this one landed differently, heavier. I played the message again, searching for warmth in her tone, some sign that the cold welcome at their house was a misstep, not a truth. Eric leaned against the counter, watching me. How much this time, he asked, his voice gentle but edged. I didn't know yet, but I'd find out. I called my mother back, keeping my tone even. "What's the estimate for the car?" I asked. She rattled off details: a belt, some hoses. $500 at least. I nodded to myself, already mentally shuffling our grocery budget, postponing the kids' new winter boots. "I'll send it today," I said, and she exhaled, her relief palpable. "You're a blessing, sweetheart." She texted later, the word sweetheart glowing on my screen. It was a rare endearment, one I hadn't heard since I was a girl, and it softened something inside me, like snow melting under a brief sun. Maybe the visit was just bad timing. I told myself, maybe they were distracted, caught up in Ryan's orbit. Christmas was coming, and surely they'd want us there. Our family woven into their holiday like always. That evening, I gathered Thomas and Grace to bake spiced apple muffins, their small hands dusting flour across the counter. We wrapped a dozen in a red tin, tucked in a card from Grace with glittery stars and a snowman doodle from Thomas. I mailed it the next day, the postage a quiet sacrifice from our savings. Eric watched me seal the package, his brow furrowed. "You're doing more than your share," he said, his hand brushing my shoulder. I smiled, but my chest tightened. I wanted to believe my parents saw my efforts, that this gesture would mend the fracture I felt. The $1, $500 left our account with a soft chime from my banking app, and I adjusted our meal plan: more pasta, fewer treats to balance it. Christmas would be tight, but I clung to the hope of a family gathering, picturing us around their table, the kids in matching sweaters, my mother's cranberry chutney on the side. By midweek, I was planning our holiday drive, mentally packing pies and the photo book I'd started, a tradition of captured moments. Thomas's science fair, Grace's ballet recital. The hope felt fragile, like a glass ornament, but I held it close, convincing myself the voicemail's warmth meant change. Eric didn't push, but his quiet kisses carried a warning, "Don't expect too much." I ignored it, letting the rhythm of our home laundry, school runs, my bookkeeping spreadsheets carry me forward. The muffins would arrive soon, and I imagined my mother's smile, my father's nod, a sign they valued us. It was a small dream, but it kept the ache at bay, at least for now. The week before Christmas, our house sparkled with the kind of chaos that felt like love. Eric wrapping gifts on the living room floor, Thomas and Grace scribbling cards at the table, cinnamon buns cooling by the window. I was checking the photo book's final layout, each page a mosaic of our year's joy. When my mother's call broke the hum, her voice was crisp, businesslike. "Are you still planning to come for Christmas?" she asked. My heart lifted, visions of our drive already forming. "Yes," I said. "We'll come on the 24th. Stay through the 26th. I've got the photo book done. And the kids are excited. I'll bring pies." She cut me off, her tone shifting. "I see. Well, Ryan and Vanessa are bringing friends from Aspen. They'll be staying. And with all the kids, it's too much. The house is full." The words landed like a door slamming shut. I blinked, my voice catching. "But we always come." I managed. She chuckled, a sound like brittle glass. "I know, dear. But it's a tight squeeze. Maybe January. Just us girls." I forced a smile into my reply. "Right. Of course," and hung up. The phone heavy in my hand, Eric looked up from his wrapping, his eyes reading my silence. "We're not going," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Thomas, lingering in the doorway, frowned. "But Grandma said we could come last year." Did she forget? I shook my head, the ache in my throat choking my words. "No, sweetheart, she didn't." That night, I sat alone, the Christmas lights casting soft shadows, my tea gone cold. The photo book lay on the couch, its cover mocking my hope. I wanted to scream, to call her back, but I just sat, the weight of their choice settling like frost. 3 days before Christmas, the phone rang again. My mother's name flashed, and I nearly ignored it, my finger hovering over decline, but I answered, bracing myself. "Hi," she said, her tone falsely bright. "Your father's back is acting up. We found an orthopedic recliner on sale, but money's tight. Could you help?" I closed my eyes, the audacity of it sparking something sharp. "You mean pay for it?" I asked, my voice low. She hesitated. "Only if you can." "Dear," I pressed my fingers to my temple. "I sent you $1, $500 2 weeks ago." I said, "And you didn't let us come for Christmas." Her voice cooled. I explained, "Naomi, Ryan's friends are here." I snapped before I could stop myself. "Not just his family friends. We weren't even a consideration." She bristled. "Ryan works hard. He needs this. You're being dramatic." The words stung, but I steadied myself. "No," I said, "I'm being honest. You don't ask Ryan for money. Do you? You call me because I won't say no." Silence stretched. Then her voice turned sharp. "We love Ryan's family more. They bring joy. You bring stress. Always watching for slights. And frankly, you owe us. We paid for your college, your first car. Don't pretend we haven't done our part." The words were a cold stone in my chest. I hung up, my hands trembling. Eric found me later, his face falling at my expression. "What did she say?" he asked. I swallowed. "That I owe them everything, and they love Ryan's family more." He didn't speak, just held me. I walked to the fireplace. The photo book in hand, I opened it, saw Grace's smile, Thomas's proud grin, and tossed it into the flames. It curled, blackened, and was one. The fire's heat couldn't touch the chill inside me, but it was a start, a severance of something I'd carried too long. The ashes of the photo book still clung to the fireplace grate when I made my choice. A quiet vow in the dark no more. My mother's words that they loved Ryan's family more. That I owed them echoed like a slammed door, but I refused to knock again. 2 days before Christmas, her number lit up my phone, insistent as a pulse. I let it ring, then ring again, until weariness won over resolve. "I've been thinking," she said, her voice syrupy with false warmth. "Come for Christmas. Just you. Leave Eric and the kids with his folks. You could take the guest room." The offer was a splinter, sharp and deliberate. I gripped the table's edge, my voice steady. "You want me to abandon my family to beg for a bed in a house you've already given to Ryan's guests?" She huffed. "I'm offering an olive branch." "No." I said, "You're offering shame." I hung up, my heart thudding, and opened my banking app. With a tap, I canceled the monthly $200 I'd sent them for years. A weight lifting as the confirmation flashed. Eric found me in the kitchen, his eyes searching. "Everything okay?" he asked. "I'm done," I said, the words solid, final. No more money, no more trying. He wrapped his arms around me, whispering. Good. That evening, I sat with Thomas and Grace under the tree's soft glow. "We're staying home this Christmas," I told them, my voice warm. "It'll be different, but we'll make it ours." Grace's brow furrowed. "Will we still have presents?" I smiled. "Yes. And cookies. And maybe Dad's terrible guitar carols." Thomas giggled. And Eric raised a mock protesting hand. Our Christmas was simple burnt sugar cookies. A lopsided star atop the tree. Laughter over spilled hot cocoa. It wasn't their house, but it was ours. Warm and whole. Days after, I scrolled online and froze at Ryan's post, my parents' living room, lit like a magazine spread. My father with wine. My mother cradling Ryan's daughter. The caption, "Grateful for family." My absence was a void. Unacknowledged. Ryan called soon after. His tone breezy. "Mom's confused why you're so upset." He said, "It was a great night. No drama." I sat, letting his words settle. "A proper family." "You said, without us." He sighed. "Don't twist it. Mom just wanted peace." I laughed. Sharp and low. She got it. "No me. No stress. Tell her I'm not upset, I'm finished." I hung up, my hands steady. The silence not empty but mine. Christmas faded, but our home stayed bright. A fortress of small joys, board games by lamplight. Grace's cardboard castle in the living room. I'd stopped chasing their approval. And in its place, I found us. January's chill settled over our suburb. But my home felt warmer, as if cutting ties had let light in. My phone stayed quiet, no calls from my parents. No texts, and the silence was a balm, not a wound. Then came the proxy's Aunt Carol's text. "Your mother's heartbroken. Family matters." Followed by Cousin Linda's call, circling to life's short. Let it go. I listened, nodded, and steered the conversation elsewhere. Their words sliding off me like rain. A letter arrived next. My mother's neat script on thin paper. No return address. "We don't understand why you've estranged us." It read, "You have a home because of us. You owe us. Daughter." No mention of my children. No regret. Just duty dressed as love. I folded it, tucked it into a drawer with old relics, a prom corsage, a faded card, and left it there, unopened again. In February, my mother called. Her voice clipped. "Your father's unwell." She said, "Medical bills are piling up. There's confusion in the family about why you've turned on us." I stood on our porch, snow dusting my boots. "I haven't turned." I said, "I've stopped pretending." She scoffed. "You owe us a conversation. This is it." I replied, "But no more money. No more pieces of me for your tolerance." I wished my father well, then hung up, blocking her number. Ryan's and my father's. The act was calm. Necessary. Like pruning a dead branch. Our home bloomed in the weeks that followed movie nights with popcorn, a fresh blue coat on the hallway walls, and my bookkeeping clients chosen on my terms. Eric noticed. "You're lighter," he said over breakfast, and I kissed his cheek, feeling it too. March brought an email from Ryan. No subject. Just, "Can we talk?" Not about Mom. Curiosity won, and we met at a park. benches dusted with early spring frost. He looked polished but uneasy. Mom's not calling anymore. He said, "She got your message." I raised an eyebrow. "That I'm not her bank." He nodded sheepishly. "Did Dad need that recliner?" I asked. He shook his head. "His back's fine. Always was." The lie stung, but it freed me. "They never asked you for money." I said, "Not a question." "No," he admitted. Eyes averted. I stood, my voice soft. "I carried them for years, thinking it'd make me enough. I'm done." He nodded, and we parted without an embrace. Just a glance. That night, I deleted their texts, their photos, my fingers steady. I texted Eric Easter. Just us. Something special. Tucking Grace in. She whispered, "I loved our Christmas. Can we do it again?" I brushed her hair back. "Always. Sweetheart." The hallway's quiet wasn't hollow, it was full, brimming with the life I'd chosen, the peace I'd claimed.